A to the 15th and M to the 10th.
Teacher, teacher, I beg you ring the bell. Teach your children, teach them how to spell.
Welcome again, guys, to another of my YouTube mathematics video, and we continue the fourth video with negative indices. Again, if you have not yet watched our first video, it's important that you watch the previous videos, one on the first law, which is multiplication of indices. I have also done division of indices. I've also looked at indices involving the use of bracket. Now, tonight I will be looking at negative indices. I'm pretty much excited, and I hope that you all are as excited as I am right now. I'm pretty much enjoy doing mathematics, and I hope you also enjoy mathematics as well. Also, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend to tell another friend. We are inviting kids, watch our videos, make your comments, make recommendation as well as to how we can improve on these videos. So like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, don't forget to hit the notification bell. Negative indices. Says here, a negative power is often referred to as the reciprocal. And the term reciprocal, to many, it simply means to invert. That is what reciprocal means. For many kids like to say, you flip it. To flip. Or, simply put, the reciprocal is the opposite of. So, the opposite of top should be, maybe, it is bottom. The opposite of front is back. Right? So, it's the opposite of. That's what the term reciprocal is, the opposite. In other words, we said when something reciprocates, it's actually giving back. Invert is the same term being used synonymously with the word reciprocal. A is being written. Now, the letter A, I could also place this as A upon 1. And if I was to flip it, it would become 1 over A. The same thing here. If I ask you guys, what is the reciprocal of 3? The reciprocal of 3 is 1 over 3. It's simple that a number on its over 1 is the same number. So we actually flip, so to speak. But in real mathematical terms, we are really doing the reciprocal of the given quantity. We will be working with those problems you can see on the board. Again, the convention of negative indices is simple that the rule is that indices should be expressed in positive form. So we want to express our index as a positive outcome. Y being raised to negative 5. Now guys, again, we could write the same problem as y over 1 negative 5. So I'm going to reciprocate. In other words, we are going to be flipping it in layman terms. So if I flip, it becomes 1 over y to the 5th power. Remember, it's the opposite. So if it is negative here, the opposite of negative is positive. So once I flip, I represent with a positive outcome. Again, the conventional rule is we want to express our index in a positive form. So let us look at the example that we have on the chalkboard there. So take a look. We have 6 problems that we will be working together. First one being 2 over 3 and a to negative 3. Guys, it is the a here that is being raised to a power. So we want to make this into a positive form. So we could write, just to guide us along so we don't make a mistake, 3, this is really 3 times a to the negative 3 over 1. If I flip or reciprocate, it makes it positive. Therefore, 2 to the 3rd times 1 over a to the positive form. So I flip, I reciprocate, it's expressed as a positive outcome. Once I flip, once I reciprocate, guys, it actually present the answer in a positive form. If I multiply across, 2 times 1 will give us 2. So it will be 3a to the 3rd power. Remember again, as I said, the conventional way is we want to express our index as a positive. Right? So to get rid of the negative, the rules tells us that we are to use the reciprocal. In other words, we are inverting whatever the quantity is. Take a look at the first one. Again, guys, here is a that is being negative. I place it upon 1, and then I flip. Then I cross multiply here. 2 times 1 give us 2. 3 times a to the 3rd power give us 3a to the 3rd power. So this is now a positive outcome. So I'm sticking to the conventional rule, is that we want to write our index as a positive. So I'm simplifying to arrive at a positive index. Gonna work the second problem. Okay, so we move to number 2. 3x to the 2nd. And note here, guys, this is already positive. Y is being expressed to negative 3. Why am I using so much negative 3? I'm not sure. So we could go along here. 3x squared, right? Y, I may just put this over 1 times negative 3. Therefore, keep the positive, and I keep the positive. 3x squared. Now this is what I'm going to be flipping. times 1 over y to the third. So the reciprocal of negative 3 is positive 3. If I multiply across here, our final outcome is going to be 3x squared over y to the third. So again, boys and girls, take a look. Guys, examine the problem that we have just done. So that would have given us 3x squared over y being raised to the third power. So again, we use the reciprocal of whatever the quantity is being expressed here as an index with a positive outcome. Let us now, so we can move from number 2. I hope you're writing quickly. We can move from number 2 into number 3. Just erasing. So number 3 here is 5 a to the third, b negative 1, c negative 5. Just gonna write it back and place each value upon 1. So 5 a to the third, this is positive, no need to reciprocate. This, I could use a multiplication sign here. b over 1, negative 1, right? And c over 1 raised to negative 5. So again, guys, just gonna reciprocate. So I keep my positive a to the third. Let us put it a little above a to the third. I'm gonna flip. So once I reciprocate, once I invert, therefore means that this will become positive, the opposite of negative 1 with positive 1. So it's really 1 over b. We don't have to put 1 here, guys. Multiply by, reciprocate here, 1 over c to the positive. All of this will now become 5a to the third. This will give us, just multiply 1 across. Over, this is now denominators, b and c to the fifth. So I've expressed my index in terms of positive outcome. The conventional way is that we should arrive at a positive outcome. That's what it says. We should be getting a positive. So that was number 3. We could look now at number 4. And guys, remember earlier I said that it's important to have an idea of multiplication of indices, as we will. So negative times a positive will result in a negative outcome. This therefore is 3 minus 5 times b to the second minus, so this is negative 1. So what are we going to have here? A positive 2 and times b negative 3. Now this is, sorry guys, this is negative 2. That's negative 2. So 3 minus 5 will give us 2. So this here will give us negative 1. So we have 2 negatives. This is now negative 3. Again, we need the reciprocal. Therefore, if I just, for argument's sake, place this over 1 and I flip. So I'm going to be flipping the term. So it's all 1 over A to the second times 1 over B to the third. Our final outcome would be 1 over A to the second and B to the third. Take a look at the problem. Again, we are writing in terms of positive outcome. So we'll have maintain our rules. So again, guys, let us just briefly take a moment to look at the problem here, because we are working with negative indices, but at the same time we would have seen here where we have incorporated the rule of multiplication as well. We identify that we have like terms in terms of the variables A and B. So what we have done here, first we group our information, as you can see here. So we group our A's, we group our B's. Now the rule of indices tells us that once we are multiplying quantity or quantities with the same base, then we are to add the indices. In this case, A to the third plus, it's a negative number. I use another bracket just to separate the two signs. Negative B to negative 2, again I use plus sign because we are adding. And likewise, if I'm going to use the sign to get rid of the bracket here, this is going to leave us with negative 1. 3 minus 5 will leave us with negative 2. Again, these two like signs will give us negative 3. And we want the reciprocal, right? That's what it tells us, that negative indices is refers to the reciprocal. So if I just simply place upon 1, the same outcome. So this becomes, if I flip here, it becomes 1 over A. And remember that once you flip, the reciprocal of the negative value is a positive outcome. The reciprocal of this negative value as well becomes a positive outcome. Hence, our final index in terms of positive outcome, 1 over A to the second and B to the third. So take a look at the problem again, guys, as we try to simplify. I'll just clear to give you a better view as to what is happening on this board. Don't want you to be confused. I don't want to create a state of confusion at any given time in working through our problems. Gonna move to number 5. Just racing number 4. Can always go back, watch the video, pause the video, and write it down. So number 5 is 4A to the third, B to the second power is being divided by A to the fifth and B to the seventh. So it's important, guys, that you go back and watch the videos on multiplication and division of indices. Again, we are working with like terms, so it's important that we group our terms. So I will be grouping here. So 4A to the third being divided by, I'm keeping my sign, A to the fifth, and just checking to make sure I have the problem correct. A to the fifth and we have here b to the second divided by b to the seventh. What does the rule tell us about division of indices with the same base? It says once we identify the base to be the same, then we are to subtract the index. In this case, 4a to the third, and I'm subtracting 5. B to the second, and I'm subtracting 7. Remember guys, I'm just following the rules. The rule in this case is division. We are subtracting the indices. Therefore, this will give us 4a. 3 minus 5 will give us negative 2. 2 minus 7 will give us negative 5. So we end up here, guys, with our focus, which is negative indices. And it says that all we need to do is to flip. Now, it is this quantity here, is A, that is being raised to negative 2, and B here being raised to negative 5. So in this case, I'm going to be flipping the A. I'm going to be flipping this quantity here. So my 4 will stay on top. There's no need for me to flip. And this will become 4 over A to the second, which is a positive outcome, over, I'm going to flip here, B to the 5th power. Take a look again, guys. There's no need for me to flip 4 because it's positive. These are the two quantities raised to a negative index. Therefore, I will be flipping those two quantities. So take a look at the outcome. The outcome would have been 4 over A to the second and B to the 5th power. So again, guys, go back, watch the previous videos, watch the ones that involve multiplication, division, and bracket indices. Again, you can always pause the video, you can go back, you can watch the video, and you can work similar examples to the one being done on the chalkboard. So we're at number 5. So I'm going to move to number 6. And number 6, guys, as we can see, we are incorporating what we have learned before, or what were discussed in the previous lessons. All brackets, M to the second, and all bracket here, negative 5. So remember what it tells us about brackets. So whatever quantity is in the bracket is being raised to an index, we have to multiply the powers. Therefore, this is really 3 to the first times negative 5. A to the third times negative 5. And letter M to the second times negative 5. What we'll get here. Therefore, this will be 3 to negative 5. And this will be A. 3 times negative 5 will give us negative 15. Positive and a negative, two different signs will give us a negative outcome. Likewise, M, positive and negative will give us a negative outcome, negative 10. Now we gonna be flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping. So if I just simply put over 1 if you want to do that. If you don't want to, feel free. This will become here, guys. So if I flip, it's gonna be 1 across the board. So it's 1 over, sorry about that. So it's gonna be 1 over 3 to the 5th. Still gonna be 1 over A to the 15th. It's gonna be M to positive 10. So in index form, we'd have written the problem all being in an index form. 3 to the 5th would be 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. If you multiply 3 by itself 5 times to give the final outcome there, guys. So it's 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. 3 times 3 will give us 9. 3 times 9 will give us 27. 27 by 3. 3 sevens, 21. 3 2 6. That's 81. 81 by 3. 3 ones 3. 3 eights, 24. So we could even go a little further to write the problem as 1 to the 15th and M to the 10th. So the conventional rule is that we are writing our index in a positive. Let me see if I jot down any other example that we can work. We could do another one, guys. I'm gonna do one more that involves bracket. Try to use small numbers as much as possible. So and not use some other letters. X, Y to the second, Z to the second, and it's being raised to -3. Hence, guys, x to the first times -3, y to the second times -3. Likewise, z to the second times -3 will give us 1 times -3, -3, 2 times -3, -6, 2 times -3 would be -6 as well. And again, we are going to reciprocate in order to make it a positive outcome. It's going to be 1 over x to the third, y to the sixth, and z to the sixth. Alright? So, that's what it is. So again, we have now looked at negative indices. So far we have done multiplication of indices. We have looked at division. We have looked at those that may involve as well brackets. And here we are. Again, you can pause the video, you can go back and write the example. You can practice on your own, guys, and help yourself in understanding the concept of working with indices. I will do another video to incorporate all 4 so far. And maybe I could also look at fractional index as well, or indices, those that involve fraction. So just to recap, will be 3a to the second, b to the third, being divided by a to the 6th, b to the 9th. Just to recap what it tells us about. So first we have like terms. It's important that we put our like terms together. So let me work with my like terms. So 3a squared divided by a to the 6th, b to the 3rd, being divided by b to the 9th. Again, we identify here, guys, that the base of the quantity being the same, so we are doing division, so the rule tells us to subtract the index. So 3a to the second take 6, b to the 3rd take 9. This will give us 3a negative 4, b 3 negative 6 here. Again, this quantity here is positive. The convection is that we want to write it in a positive form. I'm going to maintain my 3 as my numerator. I'm going to flip 4 to negative, a to negative 4. I'm going to flip, which will become a to the 4th. I'm going to flip here as well, all over b to the 6th. So this has come, guys, we have come to the end of another presentation. I hope you like my videos. Again, I implore you to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And most importantly, don't forget to hit the notification bell.